Hi guys, welcome back to... oh god. So today we've got a cup semi-final for the first time since, season 2? Absolutely incredible. We're playing Excelsior from the Jupiler League, so the division below, so we've got a real good chance in that one. Then we're playing Sparta in the league to try and improve our position, which as you can see is pretty good. We're still top with 8 games to go. Ooh, getting excited now. Hi guys, welcome back. So first thing to note is we had our second leg against Dynamo Kiev. I always feel really weird skipping games like that. We beat them 4-1 in the first leg, 3-1 in the second leg, had our draw for the Europa League second knockout round. We have got Standard from Belgium, so I'm kind of confident about that, but I guess we'll see. But since the first Dynamo Kiev game, we drew 0 against Fortuna. It was a fairly rotated team, but still quite strong, but we I don't think there was one highlight in the game. It was ridiculous. It was boring. It was horrible to watch. But yeah, we then beat Dynamo Kiev 3-1 with Gretzson, Patrick and Verheyen getting on the score sheet. They threatened to come back into it later on, but I mean, by that point it was 7-2 on aggregate, so we were fine. And then another draw, so 2 draws in the row in the league, and we played Ajax, Thomas Patrick getting the goal for us, and then Marola equalising for Ajax. Marola, probably someone, but I haven't played enough FM this year to know if he's actually a person or not, like an actual option for big teams. That brings us nicely to this semi-final and then Sparta in the league, because you haven't seen any league action for a long time. So I figure we'll do Excelsior and Sparta, and then we'll probably do Standard in the second knockout round, and that'll probably be that one actually, because that'll probably be a big game. But at least we'll be able to throw in a draw if there is one. Hopefully there is. And I've been caught out by this a million times before. I don't think there's any real updates because we're into March now, so we're near to our youth intake day, which is interesting. Yeah, no real updates, no transfers arranged, anything like that. But the team for today against a team from the division below is Julio Cesar in goal, Matusek, Mas, Boghossian and Kryzek at the back, Burnett and Stanek in the middle. Stanek, just for a reminder, is our young Czech centre mid. Rahak and Romero on the wings, and Marta and Cabrera up front. Again, reminder, Cabrera is the central attacking mid who I don't have a place for because we don't play that formation. So he's playing up front today in the DLF role. He should be alright though if we have a quick look. I mean, the dribbling's not great. Some of the physicals aren't great. I'm sure he'll be fine. So we get into the game against Excelsior. I'm wondering if there's anyone there that's familiar. I know someone that is familiar, and that is this guy, Gianfranco Cucci, on loan from FC Os. So he's one of the Belgian lads that we signed for free. We sent him out on loan. I remember saying he's really well rounded. I wanted to use him, but he's ended up just going on loan a couple times. Although this time it's in the division below, which is unfortunate. But he's getting a lot of games there. He's doing really well. To be honest, I think we'll end up just selling him, but yeah, he's doing good. I just hope he doesn't do too good in this game. So we get into the game. I'm expecting us to go through, but you know what happens when you rotate aside in the cup against a team from the division below. It normally ends in tears. For anyone wondering, yeah, I am incredibly shiny today. I also smashed my head on a barbell at the gym. It's like the first thing I did this morning as well. I was bleeding. Still lifted though, because I'm such a man. Anyway, Excelsior are coming forwards and looking pretty good as well. Burnett gets a header on it to clear. Cucci is there for Excelsior, gives it back out to the wing, and they go 1-0 up. I thought he might have been offside, but apparently not. So it's where this cross comes in here. Oh, it might just be... is that Romero? Yeah, Romero chasing back. Might have just played him onside, which is incredibly unfortunate. So we've got a highlight here. It started with their guy who's down on the edge of the box, just getting absolutely hammered. He's injured now, which is nice. But Marta steps forward. There's no one on for him. I know there's no one on, but I'd rather he kept hold of the ball rather than just shanking it from 20 odd yards out. What's the point? I mean, it's not good, is it? We're 1-0 down to Excelsior. We've created nothing. So have a go. Let's have a quick look at the tactics. I think I am going to panic massively and throw on some of the big boys. So Verheyen, I can't remember if he's recently back from injury, but it feels like it. He's coming on for Stanek in the middle. In addition, we are going to bring on Thomas Patrick up front for Cabrera, because he can actually play up front. And I'll probably leave it like that for now. I mean, 3 changes at halftime is something I've done a few times before, and I feel like I always get caught up. We are dominating. They've had 1 shot, and we've had 9, but we're not creating anything. We're not creating real chances, are we? They're coming again now. They're not really committing men forward, and you can see why we're struggling to get decent opportunities, because they're just hanging back, even with 3 attacking mids. But Verheyen has it in the middle, finds Marta, and Marta puts it into the far corner and spares our blushes for now. But Verheyen just makes such a difference. And the thing is, I haven't played this properly for a while. I've been very on-off with my playing and editing because I've got so far ahead. Realistically, this is maybe like a week and a half ahead now. Previously, it was like a month. And you look back on videos where I'm editing, I'm saying, well, maybe I'll replace Verheyen. And yeah, Verheyen technically isn't as good as you can get, but he always performs so well just from that centre mid attack role. He's such a great creator. He arrives late in the box or gets a few goals. Their defence is screwed up massively here. Marta does get onto it. He's got a lot to do. Moves wide, waits for some support, which is different to earlier in the game. Patrick now to Rahak, and he finds near post him a 2-1 up. We turn it around. But yeah, Verheyen, I love him so much. I guess we'll see how we go this season in Europa League, but I don't know. We've only got one more full season of this. We won't watch that goal again, and it's hard. I don't know if the option's actually going to come to replace him, because you've seen what we can offer with wages. It's pathetic. With just over 20 minutes to go, I'm actually going to bring off Rahak because he could do with a little rest, and Roivers can come on for him. Roivers is progressing moderately well. He's no Rahak, but when we look at those attributes, he doesn't belong on a football pitch, really, does he? So I'm sort of harking back and over to my Newcastle save, which I started recently and I think is now on the channel. When you look at some of the players there that are apparently only just good enough for the Championship, even if they're maxed out on their potential ability, they look 100 times better than what Roivers is going to look like when he's maxed out. We are just like a good 3 or 4 years off, as Verheyen smashes one into the bottom left corner. A good 3 or 4 years off being able to attract like genuinely good players, but it's just not going to go on that long. I wish I could say I play it on offline, but since starting content creation, it's hard. Your time is spent trying to get, like on YouTube anyway. For me, I spend so much time pressing space to get through to the next game, and like if I don't play it for a few days, I genuinely fall behind. It's only because I stopped releasing videos for a couple of weeks that I'm so far ahead. So yeah, it probably won't be continued by me offline. I do intend to do a little holiday thing. If you're watching and you want to comment, let me know if you think that's a good idea, as Marta puts one just over the bar. Yeah, I'd be really interested in just simming it for a few years, maybe up to 5 years, to see how us get on in the future. So yeah, let me know if that interests you and how far into the future you think we should go. Anyway, we've got a corner which has ended up with Patrick on the edge. Excelsior have got a footed and cleared it. Misc goes in and completely misses the ball, and someone's completely free in the middle but gets ignored. Are we going to break on him now, or are we just going to give the ball away again? Romero, Boghossian, very Latin American feel there. That's a terrible clearance. Excelsior are coming again. They're down the right hand side. Good crossing position, no pressure on him. Cucci is there. I mean, this is the longest highlight ever, isn't it? I think. And they put it just over the bar, so really not worth my time. No way. Look, he's just come on. For Excelsior. It didn't even occur to me. It's Hagenar's. Oh my word. He played so many games for us, it's crazy. Scored twice in the league. 4 times in the cup that season though, so he scored 5 times for us in about 60 games. He's meant to be the next big thing. He's now 24 years old and washed up in the Jupiter League. Great finishing and heading on the lad. We didn't have the facilities to develop him. It's a real shame. But yeah, he's just come on for him in the last few minutes. That's made me really happy. I remember getting really emotional over him when he scored his first goal. Incredible to see him again. Oh wow. But we win 3-1 after a minor scare in the first half. We come back, we made some changes at half-time. Verheyen came on and completely changed the game. If he does not get man of the match, there is no justice. Received 1.4 million, and Verheyen is the man of the match. 1 goal, 1 assist, 8.9 over 45 minutes. And this is what I mean by him. I mean, the passing, the first touch, the technique are all good. Everything else is pretty much lacking. The first touch is so crucial though, and then his mentals are really good in the right place, so decisions are fine. I say really good. He's still got room for growth though, because he doesn't look that good. He's 2.5 star current and 3.5 star potential. If he just went up by 2 everywhere, he'd be bossing it. But he's I know he's bossing it anyway. And the winner of the other game was Heracles, who beat Zvol 5-1 with Wow, he's still bossing it even. What am I on about? Jason Reyes with 1, Gonzalo Suarez with 3. So Gonzalo Suarez is the Argentinian on loan there. I think he's actually top scorer in the Eredivisie at the moment as well, 20 goals and 24. Looks great, but apparently his potential is pretty much maxed out. But yeah, decent. Might be able to get some good money for him if he carries on performing. But Jason Reyes, no one's going to remember this because no one's really watching it, but we had him very briefly. We had him for about half a season. We got him for a free. I thought he'd be a good utility attacking mid winger to have around. Mental's fine to an extent. Physical's all right. I wanted to play him as a right winger, and just his crossing dribbling didn't really develop at all over the 6 months I just flogged him. But yeah, he seems to be doing really well for Heracles. 7.02 average this season, and last season 7.08. He's been with them for 3 years now. But yeah, it's really nice to see our former players doing all right. I lied, there is something behind the scenes. Scott Parker's now my assistant manager. He's a really good assistant manager, much better trainer, great judging player ability and potential, better personality. Just thought it'd be good rather than having a light-hearted 25-year-old assistant manager who didn't want to get more than a National B licence. So here we are at the Sparta game. I was wondering why I didn't have people like Gretson or Zuniga on the bench, but it transpires they're still injured. Unfortunately, Gretson back in 4 days, Zuniga back in 2. Zuniga's been out for a little bit. For some reason, his arrows aren't going down that quickly or at all, so that's nice. Gretson's are, but he'll be alright. But the team for today against Sparta, who are currently in 12th in the Eredivisie, is Cesar in goal, Matusek. Munoz comes back into centre-back alongside Boghossian. Krizek continues at left-back. Then Prazak and Verheyen are reunited in the middle. Rahak and Romero on the wings. Marta and Patrick up front. So looking at the Sparta team, there's no one familiar in the starting 11 or on the bench, really, in terms of players that may have used to play for us. So that's a shame, but not every team can have them. I guess this will be nice to see because you don't really get to see too many league games. My focus is now really on Europe and trying to progress there. But yeah, this is pretty much it's as full strength as we can be right now. Is on the pitch, which is nice. I'd like to have obviously Zuniga there, but apart from that, I'd say it's arguably our full strength side. So we'll see how we get on. But early on, it's looking like we're dominating. In terms of the league, so Final playing at the same time as us. Vitesse are sort of hanging around a bit as well. They've got a game in hand, but depending on what Final do, because I assume they're drawing as well, they can't actually overtake Final. I don't know. They'll be behind us in any case, and that's the important thing. We've got a throw in. Well, Sparta have a throw in, but we have a highlight, is what I meant to say. At the left back position, they seem to be holding it fairly well. They just lump it forwards. Munoz cleans up really nicely. So we've got a Colombian and fake Argentinian centre back. He's now Italian apparently, Boghossian, but he's not Argentinian, he's Uruguayan, sorry. Anyway, Marta's still on goal, and Marta scores. I'm going to have to watch that again because I wasn't paying attention. So Romero finds Patrick, and Marta is just in a ton of space. Even looks on a bit offside as Verheyen puts him through, but I'm not going to complain. We're 1-0 up with half an hour gone. Sparta with a free kick from deep. We seem to be holding a position really well in the middle there, although Rahak has come incredibly far in to try and get a challenge, so he's completely abandoned his right wing post. Anyway, Boghossian with a bit of a cruncher. Krizek should clean up, and does. That is the worst pass of all time by Prazak, which you don't really expect to see. Centre mid wonder kid with 17 passing. But yeah, just Sparta have taken advantage of a huge error there, haven't they? Right, I'm not happy with the performance. Everyone looks fired up. I could really do without another draw though, because that'd be 3 draws on the bounce, and it's letting Final back in. Considering we're 2 points ahead of them now, those are 2 crap draws we had as well, so we could easily be 6 points ahead of them at this stage. But as it stands, it's only 2 points, and that's because they're drawing their game at the moment, I believe. Julio Cesar with a goal kick, plays it nice and wide to Matusek, which I like. Oh great, Verheyen's picked up a knock apparently. Looks like a bruised ankle. Oh come on mate, I bruise my ankle all the time. I walk into all kinds of stuff. Even as an adult, you don't feel like you should walk into things or choke yourself on water, stuff like that, but it still happens even when you're approaching your 30s. But we clear the ball, but Sparta coming back at us, and again they're not very much like Excelsior in the last game, they're not overly bothered by progressing forwards that quickly, although they have only left 2 guys back now, so if we can get a tackle in and there's a good break on. But at the moment they are holding possession real nicely, and Toomstra is through, and Toomstra, I thought it was Toomstra, it's actually Tornstra, sorry, puts them 2-1 up. With 28 minutes left, I don't want to take off Verheyen because he's probably our best player, but he's also dying, so I am going to bring off. Burnett can come on and I'll switch him and Prazak over. I don't feel like there's a lot else I can actually change in offensive positions, which is incredibly annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and drop off for a few minutes and just see if counter and just see if we can force Sparta into attacking us a bit more, which will allow the pace down the wings to get involved. So we've dropped off, we're not controlling, we are countering, we're trying to pass into space and stuff like that, because we've got quite a quick front line, but I mean it's not going to work, is it? Because they're going to be sitting back now. I just hope to sort of draw them out a bit. It just hasn't worked. This is a problem, and we change it now, in which case we go for the absolute antithesis. We attack. We are going to retain possession, stop passing into space. We're not going to exploit anything in particular, but now we push up really high, get stuck in, prevent the short distribution, play fairly wide and just see if we can force them into something. Burnett can also step up and perform the same role but just higher up the pitch. 5 minutes to go. I mean, at least Feyenoord aren't winning, or maybe they've already played their game and didn't win. With 2 minutes left, Sparta actually have a highlight, and Julio says I'll keep hold of it, but that's the highlight, isn't it? We've lost. We've lost to bloody Sparta. It's still going. Why is it still going? I'm just going to have to watch this forever. Unless we score now, I'm not bothered. Marta has it on the edge and just smashes it wide. Why showing me that? I'm real annoyed. Really annoyed. Recording an episode of Newcastle today, and I was feeling positive before it, and we lost because of something outside of my control, and that was completely in my control, and we lost. It's not a good warm-up for the standard game, is it? Really need Zuniga back, because it makes such a difference having 2 genuine forwards. But our form at the moment is not good, and I mean we're just lucky that Feyenoord are screwing around a bit as well, but it's even opened the door again for Vitesse, which is a bit of a worry. Could do without a 3-way title challenge. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, as I tried to wipe the tears from my eyes, I'll be coming back for the standard second leg, unless it's an absolute walkover, because if it is, I'm not going to bother showing it. So I'll play standard and Groningen offline. I'll see if it's worth showing you the other standard game. If not, then it will be another Europa League game of sorts anyway. So as frustrating as it is for me, if you've enjoyed that, please do smash a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I mean, I'm starting to think we're not going to retain the title, and we're going to have to regain it yet again next season. There's only 7 league games left. We've really got to get on it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.